Okay, so in this video I'm just going to go over the BannerBoo animated web ad. This isn't a project, it's just an assignment, and we're just doing one ad. So I want you to do it on the same company, to base the design on the same company that you chose for your Photoshop animated web ads. But the ad design needs to be different. It needs to look different. I mean, it can have the same colors, fonts, and logo, but everything else should be pretty different. Remember to bring elements in at different times on the timeline, and include a headline, call to action, which would be the button, and a logo. And then your ad should link to a website or landing page that is relevant to your chosen company. And this can be done under the gear icon on the left-hand menu of BannerBoo. And it should be at least 5 seconds in length. If you end up going over, that's fine. And then this ad needs to be sized to 300 by 250. And then provide the share link to your ad here. So just copy paste that code in and submit that for a grade within Banner or Brightspace, sorry. So we can go to bannerboo.com. You might have to go to Get Started for free, but I'm just going to sign in with Google. You can use Facebook too if you want. It's just a faster way of doing it. So it looks like I'm logged in. So let's go to Create Banner. And this is where you would add in your dimensions. This is the width and the height. There's already preloaded sizes that you can just click on. These are really common mobile and desktop sizes of website ads that are already, pre-sized that you can just click. These are templates down here. A lot of them are not free though, but you can click on the free ones here. And I think I'm going to go with a pre-made template this time. I'm going to use this one here. I just kind of like the look of it. So we can kind of see what it looks like if we click on the eyeball. It'll play it for us in the browser, opening up a separate tab. And that looks pretty cool, so I think I'm going to go with this one. If you want to build it from scratch, you're perfectly welcome. But so if you hit the pencil icon, that is going to take you into the actual template. And I'll go over kind of the interface here really quickly. It's not super complicated. The timeline animation area is down here, much like the Photoshop one. You can see the seconds here. And then you can also see the playhead. This is what's called the playhead. And you can scrub through your animation by dragging the playhead along. And you can see how different layers, these are layers, in your timeline, how they interact and what times they come in on the timeline and what times they leave on the timeline. So sometimes it takes a little bit for certain elements to appear. Some elements, some layers are there for the whole 10 seconds because this is a 10-second animation. And you can do a preview here by pushing the preview button. So that's kind of nice. And then outside of that, we can, over here, the left-hand menu, we can change this name. So let's change this to BannerBoo Web Ad. Or let's do this, Haver Trails, because I'm going to make it mine for Haver Trails because I already have the assets uploaded. Here's the templates. We can change it. We can search by size. You can look up free, if you wanted to there. This is the text. If you click on these, it'll bring it in, and then you can change, the text. And if you can change the font here with this little bar that pops up. The color. You can change it from bold to size, italic, underline, all caps. You can lock it, hide it. There's probably a few more options under here. Align it, different things, line height, letter spacing, transparency. So if you wanted to delete it, you push the delete button. Here's some, you can search Unsplash and just search for a keyword. Maybe I want to find a picture of a mountain scene, So Unsplash is free. It looks like you have to pay for pixels and Pixabay. but Unsplash is free, so you can bring in. These are video. Looks like you have to pay for all of those. These are shapes, buttons, lines, charts, badges. You know, some of them are free, some of them aren't. They have a little crown next to them if they are paid. Here's the upload. This is where you would upload your own assets, such as logos or background images or any kind of design element that you might want to use. And we're not going to be using any of these options down here. I think this is how you contact BannerBoo. They have a contact form here, I think. So yeah, let's get started. I guess the first thing would be to go through the layers and just kind of toggle on and off with the eyeball to see what's what. I got to move the timeline so that I can actually see. But a lot of these layers here, you know, when you first look at these, they're kind of intimidating, because if I drag this timeline out, you can see there's a lot of layers, but actually most of them I find are these little circles and these little X's. But if you want to change the name, you can just double click and change the name here and push save of your layer. And I suggest you label your layers. So this is actually the white button, this one here. So I'm going to name this white button and save that. See how I changed the name there on my layer. It slides down when it comes in on the timeline, and it also slides down when it leaves. It's not really showing up, but in the preview you can see it slides. So I mean, I can change that if I wanted to. I could make it slide left, you know, just to show you how you can change the entrance of your layer motion and the animation out. So they call it animation out and animation in. So I changed the animation in to slide left just to show you, you know, you can change those really easily. This is the logo, I believe. So I'm just going to go through and label my layers and just toggle them on and off just to see, you know, what I got going here, because it's kind of confusing right now because none of the layers are named. So go ahead and do that, and then I will restart. Okay, so I've labeled all my layers, and then I have this curved background layer that is there the whole animation from 0 to 10 seconds, and then one that comes in later, the second curved background. So I named that curved background too, and then the third one that comes in, and they have a transparency on them. So I'm going to just go here and click on that, and I'm going to attempt to change the color. Now, one weird thing about some of this stuff is you may not see any options to change the color, but you really just need to drag it down, and then your little bar shows up. So it can get a little bit hard to change the colors on things unless you drag them down enough so that you can see the gray bar to change the color. So I'm going to go with kind of a nice bright apple green color. I think you can also do like a custom color like here. I might actually make it a little bit brighter. Maybe like that. Oops. And then just click here to get it to stick. And then I'm going to kind of try and move that back where it was. And that actually may have changed all. Let's see. I think it was like up here maybe. So this is where it gets a little tricky, because the curved background 2 is still there. So maybe something like that. Curved background 2, so if I want to change the curved background 2, I have to, once again, oops, drag that one down. It's kind of hard to get to, honestly. But if you click around in here long enough, you can get to the other options here. So just go to that same color, and then we want to get to this one, and we have to bring that one down too. I change the color to the preloaded green, and then I just need to reposition them all. Kind of a pain that you can't see very well where everything goes, but I'll get it figured out. So we're just going to have to kind of reposition these, and I'm going to do that on my own time. Okay, so I have them repositioned. I have the new bright green color, almost blinding green, honestly, maybe a little too bright, not enough contrast between the white and the green. But, you know, it'll do. And I'm going to delete these logos because I'm going to bring in my own logo. So to bring in your own assets, you just go to this upload area, upload your own assets. On my desktop, I did take a couple of screenshots. You can bring in several things at a time. I have this on list view by date modified, which is a great way to find things quickly. Push shift, and then you can get both files at the same time. Push open, and then that'll upload into the upload area. And I'm just going to click to bring in things. I can click on it to resize. You have to push shift on your keyboard and continuously hold that down and grab it by these gray to resize things. So I'm going to do this, and then, you know, maybe I will change the background color just on curved background because it is just blinding. I think I'll just make it like a little bit darker. Oops, I forgot. You kind of have to click out here to get it to stick, and then we can just move it back into place somewhere around there. Okay, that's a little bit better. I probably could have even added more black or blue into that, but and then we can just change these. Something like that. Maybe I'll try and, you know, it's always a good idea to try and shorten things up. So I can do learn more instead of show more, and then I can change the color by double clicking and then going here and changing the color. I might make it just kind of a nice gray color, or blue tends to look like a dark blue, looks good. But I'll leave it gray for now. And so let's just replace this background image next. So I think what I'm going to do is just go here, and maybe I'll just bring this in like that, clicking on that, and then see in the timeline where it went. So so this is it here. So background, I'll name it, save that, and then I'll move it down in the timeline. I'm going to have to move this up because I can't see anything. And this should be at the very bottom, and it's going to replace, so I'll have to kind of slide these over to kind of mimic, mimic what's already there. And then they have a custom animation here, but I'm just going to add in, you know, maybe like a fade, and then maybe a slide, or I don't know, bounce up. And then I think you can make them longer too, like you can do this. So I'll match it up as best I can to what they have here already. Okay, so I kind of have everything looking the way I want to. I have my call to action, my button, my logo, my background image, which isn't great for this. I would suggest choosing maybe a little bit different background image, but I noticed with my new logo that I brought in, I didn't bring it all the way to the 10-second mark. I may want it to fade out sooner than that. I may want it to fade out like around here. So let's just preview this and see what this is looking like. Yeah, so I could make it, you know, slide left or something. Okay, and then next I'll show you, you can save this, and then publish is how we're going to get the share link. So publish, share link, and then we can copy this link, and that's what I want in Brightspace for grade.